with B-Bad and Brandon. And welcome back to the Platform Podcast. We are your hosts, Brandon Greco.
Jonny B-Bad.
Do you know how many times I nearly say your name when I say that? I panic. I'm like, what's my name?
What's my name?
But we're running a special episode here today. We are trying to get this out as quick as we can in light of this.
Thanks to our boys.
Well, thanks to the lads. Obviously, Jason Niall. You won't find Niall on Instagram because he's decided to be antisocial.
You can slide into our DMs.
Everybody looks at Niall.
Yeah. Fuck that Niall guy. You're right.
Matty, just get in there, bro.
Just get in there, bro. Don't.
He did it. We saw your butt.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Right. Just Matt Goyle from Valhalla Strength.
Yes.
All right. So we have a special episode in light of the recent pandemic. Would you call it?
Pandemic's the word.
Pandemic. There you go. Yep. Of the COVID-19. Was it coronavirus, for lack of for everyone that's in the know. We have a panel of guests today: Mr. Pete Baskerville, Dr. Paul White, and Andrew Laing. So we welcome these guys. Thank you for making the time coming out. We want to cover today Are we going to do that first? Or?
Yeah, 100%.
All right. So before we, cool. Let's go into who you are. We have a very important question.
Are you ready?
Are you guys ready? It's fucking like you only have 21 words. We're going to start with Andrew Laing.
Yeah, you have 21 words, not 25, which we've worked out. It's 21 total, and it's your chance to tell us who you are and what you do. Brandon,
like a timer?
Brandon will actually be counting you. So
there's no timer. It's just 21 words. All ums, ahs, ifs, all any sound that comes out of your mouth. If you fart, it counts.
Yeah, we're going to count the 5.
True.
It's
but
a
it still
sound.
counts.
Cool.
We make up the rules as we go.
He's already up to 5. He's farted 5. I can tell.
You can smell.
All right, and you are go.
I am Andrew Laing.
4.
I'm an accountant. Shit.
You're at 9.
Yeah, I can count. Fuck.
That's 13.
I'm also a powerlifter,
16.
father, accountant to gyms. Awesome.
21. Well done.
I agree with you being awesome.
Actually terrible, but
Dr.
Paul White.
I'm a psychiatrist, doctor in mental health. Nothing I say today should be held against me.
I think I've got 3 words left.
Please, God, please.
That was cool. That was a different one. Yeah.
You did really well. I just froze.
It's okay.
Froze, I think I had 10 seconds where I'm like, I'm just not saying anything. I'm just going to sit and chill.
Peter.
And then Pete. You get to do this again. Fuck. You should be fucking pro at
No,
this.
this is his first time.
This will be your first time. Niall, edit that.
Teacher
5.
at TAFE in business and small business.
That's 10.
Father of 3 kids
That's 15.
and Gwen's partner
That's
Shout out Gwen.
for
19.
for
You're at 1
40
left.
44.
You're fucked.
44 years.
You're fucked.
Fuck.
That wasn't too bad. There was a lot of panic in that panel. All right, so as we said earlier, or as I said earlier, that we are going today to address the coronavirus from 3 aspects: physical health, the mental health, and then money. We've got a panel of guests here, all what I would say is experts in those fields, and we want to just stress today that these are all opinions based off these guys. Everything we say today, please go and check for yourselves, find the credible resource or source, and get the proper advice for you. This is a panel that we've put together just to try and give people a bit more information or a bit of an insight into what's coming, what they can do, and how they can, I guess, protect themselves. So, physical health.
Mental health. And mental
Let me
health.
do both.
You got both, Dr. Paul.
I can go with both. The world is changing. Yeah, it's different today than it was 2 weeks ago. It's really different. Like, Pete and I are in the high risk group. We're both over the age of 60. We
Sorry,
weren't in the
you're
high
over the age of 60.
Yeah.
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
How old are you?
I'm 62.
Get fucked.
Yeah, I got a family
No.
used at Fortitude, baby.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
you
was
do.
training with Jonny that does it.
Jesus.
It ages you.
Yeah. I'm actually 15.
Sorry.
You should have seen me before I started training. It's just
I'm shocked
a
that
boy.
you're over 60.
yes. So we're in the high risk group. So
Sorry,
we
yes.
feel really strongly about risk mitigation because if somebody's going to die and people are going to die, that's the bottom line to all this. People are going to die. It's how we reduce the number of people who die. That's all the stuff you hear about flattening the curve. It's flattening the curve because we want fewer people to die.
For those who don't know about the curve, what do you mean by that?
I wish I had a diagram that I could show you the curve. The curve is a normal distribution curve. And it goes like that. And that's the number, as the number of cases increases, at some point you get to a peak and it starts to decrease. The idea is to get the curve. There's another line that goes horizontally, and that's the ability of the health department to cope with the number of disease cases that are coming up. And the idea is to get that curve below the horizontal line the whole time. Now, the curves that you'll see on Facebook, and we can probably put a link into what it looks like, the horizontal line's about halfway up the curve. It's not. I'm going to start swearing in a minute.
That's fine. You can say whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah, but people aren't used to their doctors swearing.
You're a cool
If you don't want to
doctor.
hear fucks, stop it now. The horizontal line is actually just above the x-axis. You know, it's not here. The curve they talk about, it's got to be flattened a real lot. Are we on? If the thing with this virus is that 5 to 10% of people are going to need an intensive care bed. If you need an intensive care bed and you don't get it, you're going to die. That's it. Now, we need to get the numbers down so that everybody who needs an intensive care bed
Can have one.
and a ventilator can have one. And there are ways of reducing that. Now, some people, particularly young people, are saying, "Oh, it's not a disease of young people." Fuck off! It is. You're idiots. Young people are dying from this disease. Not as many as old people, but
Still dying.
that's not a consolation. If you're the black swan,
I'd probably say one dead is more than enough. Is too many.
absolutely. and the reason that Donald Trump turned on his heels, he was going, "We got it under control. There's not a problem." Boris Johnson was saying, "We're just going to let it herd immunity. We're going to let it go through the community." There's a UK research group, Imperial College, was asked to do figures on this, and their figures were broadly that if nothing happened, if they kept going, then in the US about 1.5 million people were going to die, and in the UK about 700,000. And that's so the big change you saw about 10 days ago, that was the Imperial College study dropped, and everybody went,
Fuck.
that's a lot of people. When you're talking about
1 million people.
1% of the community or 5% of the community dying, that's only a little number, it's only 5%. But then you go, 5% of a really big number
It's still
is a lot of people. So, and so the stuff you've seen out of, a bit out of China, although they got on top of it late, when they did get on top of it, they slammed it down. Italy, they missed, the northern Italy, they missed the boat, and you see some dreadful photos, and they're just people, they got to make decisions. Who gets the ventilator? And who do you give it to? The sort of moral and ethical quandary of, I got a child, I got an old person, who gets it? Nobody wants to make those decisions. So
That's fucked.
that's kind of what's coming, and so it's controlling that. There's a real science around controlling it, epidemiology, and I have no doubt that the government are crunching some enormous numbers trying to work out how to keep that curve down while creating as little social dislocation as possible. The summary for people is, if you're supposed to stay at home, stay the fuck at home.
So if you're a high risk person, like
Not even high risk. If you've just fucking been told to stay at home,
Stay at home.
if you're if you've had contact with someone who's had the virus, stay the fuck at home. If you are an international traveller coming into Australia, stay the fuck at home for the 2 weeks. Going for a run, people have been having stay-at-home parties. That's not self-isolation. That's something else.
dumb.
You
That's
can't.
just, like, there was that
That's
kid
fucking dumb.
who got fucking tested for corona, told to isolate, and then went out to Friday's nightclub that night. You're a fuckhead, and I hope you're listening. Like, that's just dumb.
You're a dick. That's just that's,
You are the problem.
and
That
if
is
I-
the problem.
And if I die because some young person's been a dick, I'm going to be so cross.
And you haven't even
I will
benched
come and
100
haunt
yet.
you.
Oh yeah, that's right. Like,
You haven't benched
afterlife-
100 yet.
I have a history of haunting people, and
But I love that the nurses putting up a post and they said, we go to work to save you, you stay at home to save us.
100%.
That's the thing. While it gets out there, our nursing staff are at risk, and
Everyone's at risk.
Yeah.
But that's
I
the thing.
put a
like,
thing up on Facebook a week ago that said, if you don't want a psychiatrist running your ventilator, stay at home.
No,
It's absolutely
Jay's
true.
put that
You
in.
do not want me running your ventilator. But if the health department's looking at 30-40% of staff will have to be staying at home. That's one of the problems is your front line, your doctors and your nurses are the first, and doctors, I shouldn't say, doctors, nurses, your cleaners and the domestic staff, they're the ones that drop first and drop biggest because they're in the front, they get infected. So there aren't enough, GPs don't have enough personal protection equipment, even though it's kind of, nobody wants to say that very loudly, but if you talk to the GPs, they don't have it. So they're worried about getting the bug and dying.
I went to my GP the other day for other reasons, but he blatantly said, we were talking about, he's like, we don't have the equipment to test, the chemicals to then run the test.
Yeah.
They don't have enough swabs. And then he was going to see people in their car in the car park because they don't want to get infected. Well, I wasn't even allowed in the practice until I told them I was going in there for fucking just to get a prescription for my other meds.
If you've got a viral infection, if you've got a runny nose, sore throat, a temperature, aches and pains, ring up first and see whether it's all right to come. Because we don't want the GPs getting sick, and we don't want a waiting room full of frail elderly people getting sick because you weren't
responsible
enough to ring up first and say, I'm sick, what should I do? Because there are lots of fever clinics popping up in the major hospitals, which are either drive-through or walk-through, where you can get it all done with people who are gowned and masked, and they look really scary. Like, genuinely, they look, like something out of science fiction. But that's for their protection, and they're not that bad, really. But it is. People will be turned up to these things, and people are not going to want to go because it's scary. Yep, absolutely, it's scary. Get over it. The world is changing. That's scary. Change is always scary, and we don't know what it's changing into. That's even more scary. And it might change into something we're not really comfortable with for the next 12 to 18 months. But that's what's going to happen. Sorry. And is that going to cause lots of mental health problems? Absolutely.
That's got to be the next big thing.
Absolutely. It's, how do we deal with that? Well, if somebody is unwell, they need to see a doctor. Yeah. We can make the community more resilient by being nicer to each other.
I think that'd go a long way.
Human kindness is a pretty powerful drug. You just cut people slack, be nice to them, be polite, respectful.
You just understand that we're all going through similar things. Like, we're all
Absolutely.
experiencing anxiety. We're all a bit scared. We don't know what's coming. And as you said before, change is fucking scary.
Absolutely.
But it's going to be community that gets us through this.
Yeah.
I know for me, I got a group of people I chat to probably every second day. The first question is, how you going? People in similar situations to me. And I got friends doing the same thing to me to make sure I'm okay as well. And just someone sending me a message saying, how's your day going? And then just maybe talking about something that's nothing related. Because to be honest, it's nice to talk about something that's not what the fuck is going on right now.
It's the old,
It's
"Are
been
you okay?"
awesome for me personally, and then I've no doubt the people I've reached out to as well, just dropping a text saying, "Hey, what's going on? How's your things?" has been awesome.
Are you okay?
Because because if someone replies back and says, "Hey, you know what? I'm not," fucking hit the panic button, go find out.
Yeah. So that's the general community stuff. That's gonna yes, mental health will have a role to play, and yes, we do, and it'll be, more complicated, but it'll be out there and it'll be happening. But in terms of, like I say, community resilience, being kind as always, but it buys a lot of stuff, and you're looking after each other. Can I go back to me not dying, because I'm really keyed into.
You can do.
And I'll be
Penis.
honest, I like both of you. I would rather you alive as well.
Yeah.
I need him to set more records, and I need to roll jiu-jitsu with you when we're allowed to again, and squash you more often.
Absolutely. And Johnny, I love being squashed by you. It's got to be said.
That's the title of this podcast.
Yeah, I'm happy with that to go. Anybody who knows,
Or choke you, that's also nice.
Johnny's a really, really very big human being.
Could be bigger, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But
Could be a lot bigger.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
That's
I'm
harsh.
trying.
That's
There's 380 squat right there.
speaking as somebody that Johnny sits on regularly.
This took a left turn.
In the name of jiu-jitsu, I'd just like to say it's really unpleasant. There'll be photographs posted later for anybody.
Actually,
who wants
I'll get Jace to put some of them in.
That's brilliant. Anyways, going back to you not dying.
Social distance. Social distance. Keep social distance. Follow the government's laws.
Yeah.
Don't everybody pile down to Bondi Beach.
Yeah.
Don't everybody pile into Johnny's gym.
Can I just? I'd like to add, know the rules as well.
Okay.
A lot of people
Because
don't know.
I know I've had a few conversations with people where I've said, hey, particularly as a business owner, oh, did you know that this is now the new rule? So I guess for us, the big one is the 4 metre, one person rule.
Do you want to run through it? If people don't know it.
Yeah, so the latest change for us as a gym or anyone who owns a space, an indoor space, it's one person per 4 metres, essentially. So if you're a business owner and you have people in your indoors, you need to measure whatever the fuck your indoors is and work out what you're allowed to have.
And 4 square metres.
And don't dodge it up.
4 square metres is the size of a queen-size bed
It's
sheet.
big.
It is big. It is really big.
Yeah.
And you're supposed to stay 1.5 metres away from the person next to you.
Yeah.
Which is where Peter almost is.
Yeah. Which
We're
is
trying.
good. But know the rules.
Yeah. And it's all a change of habit. We're not
Yeah.
used to this. We're used to shaking hands, and we're used to, we're coming up with some pretty good things at FB around
Yep.
instead of shaking hands. We
You got the foot tap.
Foot
you got
tap.
the elbow tap.
the
Elbows.
double foot tap.
Oh,
The next
hey.
one will be, can you double foot tap
In the air. At
in
the
the
same
air
time.
same
Yeah,
time?
We can do that.
What if you double foot tap in the air, then change to the other foot? Like bang, bang. Ooh.
The longer this goes, I feel like we'll evolve it.
Oh, I'm going to fall over and break something, and it'll hurt really badly.
Yeah.
Wash your hands.
Yeah.
Wash your hands. The biggest thing you can do is social distance and wash your hands.
Yep.
This is
Wash your
some
hands all the
alcohol
time.
foam.
Yep.
I can't pronounce the name of it, but it's sanitizer, chemical
Yes.
grade.
Check that the bleach you're using is actually.
'Cause you
I'm
could,
going to show
um,
everyone how to do this. What you do, grab your hand, squirt it a couple of times. There you go. And then you rub your hands together, get it all in there, and then it dries.
So think
20 seconds. No.
No, 20 seconds.
Let me show you.
Okay, I was
can
wrong.
show you. I can show you. This is so I've done the health department hand sanitation.
Is there a song?
course. No, it's online on the health department website. 20 seconds.
that
You
heavy?
rub your hands together like
2,
this.
3.
Then
Can you
you
put that
rub-
next to the
and you
microphone?
can. I can't sing otherwise.
6,
No,
it's
but can you put
singing.
next to the microphone? It sounds
So
really
then we-
moist.
8,
So then we do the
9,
back of the hand like
10,
that. Then
11,
we do in a hand like
12,
this, and we do in a
13,
hand like that.
14,
and then
15,
we do that between
16,
there, and then
So
we
that
have
is
17,
why
that there.
surgeons
18.
do that.
19, 20.
20. I'm out.
Yeah.
20 seconds.
Was that 20
Hand
seconds
rub.
now?
Close enough. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That's a
Okay,
hand
well, then
wash.
don't listen to how I did it.
Just get sick of washing your hands every time you touch something.
Yeah.
Every time you eat, every time you do something, wash your hands. Carry something like that around. Wash your hands.
Because I guess, like you said, the scary thing is if, say, I was to get it and not know I had it and then pass it on to someone quite old, they are not going to have a good time.
No.
And I kind of feel like there's plenty of people running around my age and less that aren't thinking like that, for lack of a better term. And it's not until you say, how about you're going to kill someone's grandma, that reigns home. And I don't think there's enough people thinking that way.
Absolutely.
There definitely isn't. I think it's like you look at the younger population, those cunts. Oh shit! Sorry. No, fucking keep it in. But the population, they think they're invincible. They're not thinking about fucking Johnny's grandma. They're not thinking about Laing's fucking son.
The time has come to stop seeing Nana and Grandpa for a
100%.
while.
Unfortunately,
It's just got to stop. So the kids, the little kids, the studies are that the majority of young children, like school-age children, who get the virus don't get symptoms. So you don't know.
That's scary. What if they go home and meet Nana?
And if they go home and meet Nana and they're shedding virus particles, Nana will get it and Nana will do badly. So we don't want to all grow up going, I think I killed Nana, because that's a bad thing.
Yeah, like
Really?
that's a bad thing. Yeah.
Really, it's bad for people to kill their nanas. So don't.
Accepted. Yeah.
I just want to put that out there. So just...
I think we'd all agree.
Yeah, okay, good. We all agree.
Quietly confident.
Well, mainly because my fucking nunna can cook. If we lose her, we're fucked.
Yeah.
Like, fuck, what am I going to do?
It's going to have to wait a little
I'm
bit
not going to go to
before you
140
get that pasta
then.
again. No,
Yeah,
you're not.
fuck.
So, okay, we're agreed.
Sorry,
So
that's
stay-
what's stopping you from getting to 140?
I'm going to take you to my nunna's.
Not yet, though.
Not yet. Once
Yeah,
this
of course,
passes,
of course.
she's going to cook you pasta, and then you'll tell me, okay?
Yeah, cool.
Cool. We'll actually get her on the podcast.
I'm so excited.
She won't speak a word of English. Well,
That's
she
fine.
can, but it won't be fluent. We won't understand her, and she'll call us a bunch of dickheads,
Yeah.
and then we'll try her pasta, and you're all going to sit here and be like, that's the best fucking pasta you've ever had.
Cool.
It's the best.
I won't ever leave the
We're
super
up for that. Could
heavyweights.
that be the next podcast, please?
Yeah, like, well, after all this passes, yeah,
Yeah.
100%. Or we can just get her in a hazmat suit.
We can do takeaways.
Yeah, that's a brilliant idea.
Drive
actually.
past.
Yeah, sick.
Drive
She can
past.
just throw it over the balcony. I'll catch.
Valhalla, we'll just drive past the front and
What-
you just pass it out.
Yeah. What other things do you think would be important for sort of mental and physical health?
Don't be a dick.
Yeah.
Be nice to people. That's going to be the big thing. If you think somebody's doing really badly, and that they are unwell, they're getting to that point, then your GPs or the hospital
Yep.
are your port of call.
Yep.
There's Beyond Blue and Black Dog have got videos out and have got stuff out already on Facebook and YouTube around this stuff. They're fantastic references.
I just want to jump in there. It's like, if you suspect something's not right, don't hesitate.
Yeah.
Fucking
It's
get
probably
onto
not.
it.
Yeah, it's probably
Like,
if you think it's not right,
just fucking act.
it probably isn't.
Because
It usually
you
isn't.
not acting and something happening is probably going to be worse.
Yeah.
So act. If you think someone's not right, send them a fucking message. Call the ambulance yourself.
And I think we even, not even reflecting on my work, thinking about within the gyms, we've already started seeing people who aren't coping with change and the different ways things are going to happen, and we just have to try to help them through, because change has happened and more change is going to happen. Just
We got to accept that at some
that's
point.
how it's going to be.
We're going to have to accept what we can't control and just go with what we can.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's a
So,
scary future.
So
looking at
stay the fuck at home. Wash your hands. Social distance. Be nice to people.
it's pretty simple when you put it like that.
Check in on your friends.
Check in on your friends. Be nice to people. And the new normal might have to be being nice to people.
Laing, you got to stop being an arsehole.
Nah.
Laing was out in the car park before this. We don't know what he was doing out there. He's
I know. I
out
think
there on his own.
it looks sus. I just want to point that out there.
But he can lift more than we can, so...
Well, apparently.
Allegedly. It's not on the board yet.
Well,
Seen the
I just want to
video.
interject right now, actually, because just to brighten this up a little bit, Pete just roasted Jason before. Poor Jace. Like, I gave him the epic shirt from the Pro Raw. Obviously, Pro Raw got cancelled, and Pete's like, "Oh, you're going down to Pro Raw?" And I was like, "Yeah, he does all the the video stuff." And Pete's like, "I didn't think he could squat 400." I'm like, "Fucking roast." Like,
I didn't say him. I just said those legs.
that's even worse.
Those legs wouldn't squat.
Do you know, I was about to just... That was going to be my segue. I was going to go...
I've got nothing against him. I'm just saying his pegs are not gonna. They're just not gonna.
Jace, just jump up in the video
Yeah,
so
Jace,
the people can see
legs.
They're good legs. Like,
Look
we're
at
not.
that. Pull it up.
Yeah,
Pull it up.
Whee!
It's probably a 280, but
They're-
not 400.
Look, they are very white legs.
They're
as
good
well.
legs, but they're not that good.
The Savage
Doing my best.
plus 60, you're allowed to give Savage.
Yeah,
on.
once you're over there 65 or 60,
Yeah,
you're fucking
you're
allowed
allowed.
to be
Just go.
savage.
In my
You're allowed.
experience as an old person,
Fucking old person.
Jason, we love you, and
We love
you're
you.
a great
We
squatter.
need you. We need
and you. Don't worry, you'll come back from this.
and I'm sorry, they are good legs. They are.
They're good
really
legs
good
to match a good face.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a beautiful
Jesus.
face.
Now,
And he's a ginger.
I know it's a beautiful ginger.
What's wrong with being a ginger?
Your beard's ginger. Are you pubes ginger?
Shit.
Yeah, you forgot about him.
If anybody just,
Confirm or
Laing's-
deny? Confirm
Laing's-
or deny? Wink twice.
I could have.
I played the fifth.
Having
Anyways,
Johnny sit on me is unpleasant. Having Laing sit on me, I just was.
I've had Laing sit on me. It's
respect,
quite
but-
pleasant actually.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
And now we got Pete.
Pete.
Business.
Now we're gonna
You've owned
segue
a
into
bazillion
Pete.
businesses. What do you, like? What are you thinking? Like, I guess as a business operator, I know for me personally, I've gone through thinking, I'll throw 10 litres of diesel on this and burn it, to maybe we'll be okay, and trying to plan everything and begin in the middle. What do you think? How fucked are we?
Yeah.
Everyone.
One I've had, 30 different businesses over 30 years, and
You've got half a degree.
I've got half a degree.
You've been around since almost before the Great Depression.
And been through
The
this
dinosaur
sort of
period.
thing, the dark for myself.
Dark Ages? Would you
Dark
say?
ages. For myself, I've been through the dark ages. Some because I made my own mistakes, and sometimes circumstances outside of my control. But been to the bottom, having faced oblivion, financial oblivion. So, I know what that feels like, and that's where I got into teaching, because TAFE basically said, look, we'd love to have your experience, come and help our small business owners, and come and teach at the college. So I really love it, because I'm able to impart a lot of that knowledge of all those years. And I took the time as a teacher to write 2,000 answers on a platform called Quora. And they're being picked up, and obviously
Gold medalist,
get a
regular world champion.
Yeah,
Quora.
that's right.
Get on Quora and look at Peter.
You upvote my stuff all the time.
He's got serious credentials, and they're great answers.
Yeah.
Well,
So
we got another podcast coming out with
Yeah,
Peter
so
just
just-
stuff later, and
Yeah.
he's got some fucking credentials. I'll tell you that.
It does.
So I've been there, done that so many times, and as Johnny knows, I've been jumping up about the impact that this thing was going to have. I understood the health thing, but I saw that the impact that it was going to have, particularly on a gym, which relies on people coming together and so forth. So.
And can I and let us say, we rely on the gym being there.
Yeah.
That's where we go.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of people that need the gym as a place to go. I mean, there are a lot of people for whom that is the only place they go. Seriously vulnerable people need the gym.
It's my life. It's my life. If
Yeah.
I didn't have that Fortitude barbell, it would be a very miserable life. And so I love it. It's a great place for me to go. But this has become more of a health issue than a financial issue. And it's actually more of a physical health, mental health. And I said this to Johnny today. Actually, we shouldn't be worried about the monetary health. That's gone. You just got to come to terms with that. What you want to come out of this, what success looks like this time next year, is that you still have your health, you still have the health of the people around you, both physically and mentally, and who gives a fuck about anything else, Really.
You can make money again.
Yeah, exactly.
In
Money
November,
comes and goes.
last year,
Yep.
finance was everything, being successful and all that. That's no longer success. Success now is survival. Oh, sorry. Success now is
Can I
survival.
just say, we were just working. Can we put the Joe Marler short of him and Alan Wynne-Jones in the rugby? Because I'm just going to tap Peter down there. Get the mic up a bit. I need to.
Social distancing, please. And I think I've been asked by the government actually to develop workshops, which we're sending all over 80 workshops around Queensland to help small businesses. And I have to prepare all the content for these workshops. And
when do they come out?
We did our first one in Gold Coast this
Already?
week.
Yeah,
we
wow.
did 2. We've done a cash flow one. Laing, you'll be pleased with that. And then followed up by our business strategies. What can businesses do about it? And in reflecting on how I would put it together, I immediately said, I have to address the elephant in the room. I can't go in and say, welcome, good to see you. I'm Pete from TAFE. I've got some textbooks here. I'm going to open them up and I'm going to tell you what you should be doing. I actually said I need to address the mental anxiety in the room. And I did all of those things that you just said then. I said we need to think about things like kindness. We need to think about new words like community. We need to think about humanity. These are the things we should be thinking about. But one of the things that I got out of it was, and in talking to these guys or reflecting on these guys, your business is happy, repeating, referring customers. You guys have that. You guys have that in bucket loads. Now, you aren't going to lose your business because those happy, repeating, referring customers are still there. But they need to take a break to save their physical and mental health for a while. Those of us that can will still support you in whatever way we can and do our training any way we can. I'm thinking Johnny's going to give me some cardio in the park or something, but we'll find a way. Or
I don't think cardio's in his dictionary, but
You'd probably let's face it, those knees and hips ain't running shit.
But he'll have something for me, but that's your business and you still have that. And even if you closed it down and came back 6 months later, they would still be there. You still have the business. That what you've got to deal with is the finance. But what I'm noticing is everyone's leaning. The small business has to lean on the bigger business. The bigger business is leaning on the banks. The banks are leaning on the government. The government is taking a borrowing of 2 years' time, saying we're going to make profit in 2022 and 2023. Let's take that money and put it in today. And you see they put 600 billion into the UK economy. They're putting $1 trillion into the US economy. They've put 17 billion into the Australian economy. So there's another trench of money coming. And if that money comes, I would think it's a $100 billion package. Otherwise, it's not going to make an impact. And if it's like, and the support already that's out there for small business and then after I deal with that, I deal with the 10 strategies, and Laing's are probably across this as well in the way that you guys can tap into. There's low interest loans are being offered by the state government. It's an EOI at the moment, expression of interest, and that's simply to carry you over. So you can take these low interest loans to get you through this period, and when you come out in 6 months' time and you tell everyone, and I sort of feel it's about that long and maybe longer. In terms of effect, it's a 5-year program.
We're 6 to 18 months.
Yeah. Once the vaccines come out, maybe we can all enter out, move
and
out again.
That's best case scenario is 14 months. Sorry to.
Yeah. Okay.
One of the things I didn't talk about was medication. Don't be a dick. There is no medication.
Yep.
That's just no matter what Donald Trump says, there's nothing yet. Don't waste your money. If you're in intensive care, then there's probably there is some medication, but not before you get there. It's just not going to happen.
So anyway, where we start our workshops, or where we start everyone, is to develop a cash flow plan. You've got to understand the timing and the quantity of the hole you're going into, and that can only be done with a software like Excel, an electronic spreadsheet, and you sit down and you map out. I like at least 13 weeks, but in this situation, you probably go out 6 months. And you say, this is my likely income, this is the cash in that I'm going to get, this is the cash out, and what's that look like on the bottom line? And it's scary because it's going to be red for most of the cash flows that Laing would prepare. But that's the first thing we tell business people. You must get that, because you're not going to get any loan without it. You're not going to get any support without it, without actually knowing what the quantum is and what the timing is. But having got that, then you sit there and say, what are you going to do about it? Now, a lot of people are saying they're going to talk to their landlord, and the landlord's still in November last year. But I say to all of these guys, we actually have been dumped in March into the jungle. We're in a completely different world. Don't talk about November, it's gone. That world that you knew in November, stop talking about this life in terms of that. It's gone. We're now in a different world. It's like we were all parachuted into the jungle. But what we have, and this is, apart from the guys that you guys have, people that are happy repeating, referring customers, we also have each other. And really, that's our only asset. What we have is the network that you guys have invested in. The group of people that we have around us is our asset. It's not the financial asset we have, it's the fact that we've got each other.
Your network is your net worth.
It's the social, it's social capital. Absolutely.
And I tell them to build 3 networks. So they need an emotional network, a family, friends, whether that's Facebook or whatever you do, you should have that. And like Jonny says, maybe he's reaching out to people that he knows about. And I say that it's okay to not be okay, but just even admitting that I'm not okay, I imagine is part way to help to recover.
And you and I come from a generation of men where you don't admit you're okay. You're not okay. Sorry. So somebody says, "Are you okay?" And you go, "Yep." What are you asking me for?
So resilience for me is facing up to as quickly as you can, and I can't see any way out of this. In terms of finances, you can forget about that. We're all going to be affected. The Australian dollar's down. The share market's down 33%, which is all of our superannuation. So retirees like us, if we go and look at our super, it's probably 33% down. So
don't look at it.
You don't want to look at those numbers.
Don't retire.
Every Australian has been impacted, but some of them, particularly in the small business, they've been impacted because with this social distancing and staying at home, which we must do, it's just going to destroy those businesses. But we have backups, and I think the fact that the government's about to release something, and even the stuff that I've already dug up, they're being supportive with. They're even going to repaying your last year's. It's not a great thing, but they're repaying your last year's instalments. That PAYG. Yeah. If you've been paying instalments on your business in anticipation of paying tax this year, they're actually refunding that now. You have to apply for it. You have to go to Laing and get him to do it for you.
Andrew Laing, world's strongest accountant.
But in the trouble with, I was speaking to these people and saying go to your accountant, but they said they're being inundated. Is that true? Are you being inundated yet?
Yeah, so basically it's been over a week now. Since Saturday last week, I've been almost back-to-back phone calls. Unfortunately for my business, it's largely non-billable because I'm not going to bill someone for a 10 or 15-minute phone call.
Particularly if they're ringing you up about the fact that their cash flow's just stopped.
Often it's something that I shouldn't really bill for because it's something that's like anxiety. I don't know how my business is going to continue. Well, I'm not a counsellor. I can't bill you for a counselling session, but I'm going to sit here and talk with you about it. But as soon as that phone call's done, it's another one. And although we have some things we're able to, and I'll get onto in my part, but there's some things that we can do, it's still not a lot at the moment. So I'm excited to see what the second round stimulus is going to be.
We're waiting for it, yeah.
So when do you think that's coming?
Well, it has to come soon. I mean, the British government is paying, if you get unemployed, you're paying 80% of your wages for this period. Now, that's unheard of.
How do you reckon,
that's a huge,
while we're on that, as a sole trader, how do you declare your wage? Like, is it just going to be on your tax return, and then you think they would be giving 80% of that? What do you reckon?
That's what I'd expect.
Yeah,
that to be.
Just cover me on this one. So PTY Limited, I think you said you have PTY company. Do you have a PTY Ltd?
Laing? No,
it's not.
Laing's my accountant. So just any questions about me, Pete? Ask him.
So if
so a PTY Ltd is the business, but the PTY Ltd can employ Jonny.
Yeah,
even though he's a director of the PTY, he can also be employed.
But at the moment, mine's PTY takes profits, not non-employees.
But you could convert that.
Yeah,
you could. This is the problem with nothing being legislation yet. So I need to be real careful how I say this, but
nah, fuck it. You're responsible.
No, because it's not.
There's
not clear yet.
In the tax legislation. There's anti-avoidance laws, and if you change things. I'm assuming if you change how you're doing things to take advantage of the stimulus package, it'll fall under that. Because it's that kind of all-catching, you're being a shit cunt, like part of the legislation. So...
Just want to say shit cunt is not a actual legal accountant term, but we will accept it.
Yeah, but everyone understands what it means.
Everyone,
have you
we're in
gone-
Australia, mate. Fucking shit cunt.
Have you or your clients gone for refunds from the tax office and got them pretty quickly now? Are you finding them very responsive for that?
We haven't tried yet.
Yep.
Honestly, a lot of what we've done at the moment is more trying to batten down the hatches, like trying to save businesses while everything hasn't been fully felt.
Yeah, because this is going to peak, mid-April? Is that what they're saying, health-wise?
Yeah.
Mid-April.
Yeah.
Early mid-April. Depends on a lot of things, but you'd be safe working that'll be that's your peak, but the peak's going to last for
September.
Yeah, it's not just going to be one day.
if things go really
Doesn't
well.
just go up for a day and then
September-
come back down
Look,
again, right?
The thing I forgot to say earlier when I was talking about drugs was the immunisation. The immunisation is 14 months away. Best case scenario, there are 7 companies start getting close to testing. One started to test, but you can't just bring it to market because you've got to stick it in people first and then wait to see whether they drop dead.
Toxicity.
Because if your immunisation kills more than your disease, that's
bad
in fact,
too, right?
If it
We'd agree that's bad.
kills anybody, that's
Fucking
a
that movie, I Am Legend.
bad
Turn to
thing.
Zombies.
Yeah.
no zombies. We're not doing
But
zombies.
what about the treatment?
Zombies
though?
scare me. I have nightmares.
Fucking
about
zombies scare me,
I
and
don't
I just
wanna-
feel like those doomsday preppers. There is a doomsday prepper out somewhere in a fucking bunker going, I fucking picked this. I'm
And
coming for you.
Glenn was my hero.
In
Walking Dead. Glenn.
Oh, yeah, okay, cool.
There we
We're
go.
on the same
We're
page.
still like you guys have forgotten already. I am so disappointed.
I just want to shout out if we can get videos.
Remember-
of Nick
remember
Wilson's,
Glenn.
Did you see Nick Wilson's Doomsday Prepper?
No, I've got to watch it.
That was
You gotta-
so fun.
Get back! Everyone, that's an inside joke. But
we can maybe put that up.
We'll put that up. Jason, on that.
Just get Nick to give you
And
some
Glenn.
videos.
Talk to treatment though. Like one is the vaccine, but talk about what they're throwing at people because obviously they get a real good chance to do treatment on those people that don't get the ventilator. Surely they're a candidate for even a trial treatment. Is that true or not?
Everything I've seen so far, Pete. There was a there's chloroquine. Probably doesn't do anything. They'll have to trial it first. Trials haven't started. There was an article in New England Journal of Medicine just last week. Drugs that you don't need to be able to pronounce, antivirals. They found no effect, but they probably started the drugs a bit late. So they're going to keep using them and trial them starting earlier. There are other retrovirals and things coming on. The stuff that's been used with HIV and some of the other virals. There's an anti-coronavirus drug that's been used previously. Probably doesn't work against this one. So that's the stage they're at. If I was a drug company, I'd be trying to get something to market really quickly because there's a fortune to be made if you get it right. But again, you've got to trial it. I know that the American FDA is green-lighting approvals really quickly for stuff coming through, but it's still, we're still a long way. It's not, the world has changed, guys, and don't rely on that being the answer because it may not and probably won't be. The world has changed and it's a different world, like you were saying, to where we were 2 weeks ago.
And next week, at the end of next week, will be another different, very different.
And that's and we don't know what that looks like.
But the point I was making about the landlords, a lot of the times you'll go back to landlord for a reduced rent or whatever, and they're still in November. And they're saying, in November, if you came to me, I'd say either pay the rent or we'll find someone else. There is no someone else anymore. If you left those premises, it's going to sit idle for 18 months. That's my view.
Minimum.
As a minimum. And good luck. And I tell you what, they won't sign it for the value that you've signed up for. So they are desperate, but they don't want to let on because they've got their cash flow problems. But they are, anyway. I just wouldn't pay my rent. That's where I would be, And I would, you've got a deposit there, sometimes a month or 3 months deposit.
Yep.
Just draw down that. Just say, well, landlord, you've got that as a deposit. I paid it as a bond when I first signed up, and
Now it's time to use it.
I would draw that down, and in your negotiations. But those landlords, what I've heard is ask for 6, you'll probably get 3. 3 months rent free. That's what seems to be out there.
I know for me, because we have a gym
Yeah.
with Jamie. Probably about last Friday is when I shit myself. And the first thing I did was email the landlord.
Yep.
And I figured I just needed to start a conversation.
Yeah.
There's no mention of numbers yet. It was just like, hey, it's about to get pretty shit. We want to stay here. We've been very successful so far. We have a strong community around us, but we will not get through this without you. And
Correct.
if we're not here anymore,
Yep.
your space will be empty.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
get ready for my phone call. And they responded really well. There was no numbers talked yet, obviously, because we don't need to do that yet, which is probably next week. That's fast things are going. But they responded well. They're like, yeah, cool, we're here to support you. We want to see you through this. Let me know when we need to talk. And then I just put a number on the table to start with, and I just said, hey, I think for now, the smartest thing for you to do as a landlord is work out what your absolute running cost of this space is. Like, where are you at? How much do you own of this? What is the bills that you have on this? And that might be the number we need to maybe start at, or we might even be going less and you're getting a haircut as well.
But the banks are supporting them.
Yeah.
You know, there was Channel 7 came out with the other night. The 4 banks have all said they're not going to foreclose on businesses that don't meet their loan repayments. I think it was 4 months.
The Financial Review reported that I don't know which banks it is, but a lot of the major banks have said that for commercial loans that they're going to allow 6 months of no repayments.
4 to 6 months almost just deferred. Though you still owe it.
You still
but it's
owe
just
it. It'll
deferred.
still accrue interest,
Yeah.
but they're not going to be showing up going.
No,
They're not going to be
knocking
sending
door.
letters going, you owe us money. It's going to be, you've got 6 months, like, it's fine.
Just chill.
Which, you know, I've got clients that have $1 million loans that are talking about closing their doors. So, and they have personal guarantees on them. So that's their houses as well that are going to go. So having that 6 months of, hey, you know, just
Breathing
give us 6
space.
months of breathing space. And the bank's just like, yeah, that's fine. You still owe us the money. We're still going to get our interest. We just have to take a little bit of a break on cash flow. It's a bank. It'll be fun. Hopefully. But effectively for some businesses, that's the difference between
Closing,
staying
yeah.
or not.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, I think you've got a lot of leverage with the landlord. Whether their poker face shows that, I think you have. And if you don't want a negotiator, get an independent negotiator. Get your accountant. Go in on
Call
your-
Laing.
Call Laing.
Call Laing.
I'll
Or-
admit I've actually been involved in 2 so far.
Yeah, because you're dispassionate. You just
Yeah.
look at the numbers and say, well, either you take this number or give us this, or the business closes. What do you want to do?
Yeah.
Do you want an empty shop for
And your
18
advice,
months?
boys, would be ask for some rent-free period first before getting into the end of the bond.
What we've suggested to people is don't come up with specific terms yet. Just have exactly what you did, Johnny. Have the conversation of where are you at? If we needed to reduce this, what do you think that looks like at the moment? And we'll factor that into our cash flow and see if it fits. Because the reality is you might have, like I leased a space a couple of years ago that the guy who owned it, all he paid was rates. So he's like...
He owns it.
He owned it
So
outright.
it's just profit you're paying.
Yeah. So we missed, I think, 2 months rent by accident, but missed it. And then he's called up. He's like, "Oh yeah, you didn't pay rent." I'm like, "Oh, sorry, mate. Paid the money, all good." He's like, "Yeah, I just didn't even notice." And it's that kind of, if I approach someone like that, he'd be like, "Yeah, no worries." Maybe my current landlord, he might owe all the money for the commercial property. If he's with a bank that's not allowing him not to pay payments,
That's where the
he
leading
might be
effect starts,
going,
yeah.
no, you have to pay it. But if you're having that conversation up front of where are you at, because you can have that with a few different people that you pay.
Yeah.
Like whether that be your landlord, I've got people talking to their staff, can we bring you down on hours and stuff like that so we survive and you keep your job, as opposed to redundancies and you may not actually get the redundancy.
Because there's no money in the bank. Yeah.
Exactly.
And the point that Pete made of getting you to do it is just a wonderful one, because there's no emotion in it. You're not invested.
Yeah, I can be
and you can be.
I can be brutal on the client's behalf.
Correct.
Because,
Correct.
you know, I know what you can do.
You're very good at it.
Yeah.
I try to be. Like, I know what they can do, so you kind of go, well, tell me why you can't do what, like, why are you being a dick?
And the rest
like,
of us
in
have
this
got.
time, why are you being a dick? Because it's either Because we could be in a situation where it's like, all right, we just close the doors and we're just not paying you. And we hand the whole company over to an administrator and they're not paying you either.
Yeah.
So now you're getting zero.
Exactly. So
you
you're
can
going to
quote
take a haircut,
Paul White's
or you're going to lose
aphorisms.
it all. Sorry?
Paul White's aphorism, number 107, don't be a dick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's also in every
Paul White said don't be a dick.
lease,
It's
in every
these
lease
times.
there's a thing called a force majeure, which is the inability or frustration. You can't meet. They would like to pay rent, but the government has shut down all gyms, so they cannot deliver the rent because of a thing outside. It used to be sort of act of God, but they just call it a force majeure. So you've got to look at your thing. It's there for the landlord mostly, but this is the first time it actually works against. So if your building got wiped out by a cyclone, you can't sue the landlord for not providing a property for you, because that's what it says in it, because it was an act of God or force majeure or this thing called frustration. Well, now it works for you. You would love to be trading this business and love to be paying the rent, but the government has shut you down, and you have no ability to pay the rent, and you have to check your lease, but there is an out there. And not only is there an out, some of those force majeures say after 20 days, if there continues to be frustration, the deal is off. You pack up your seat, go and get a half-price property out in Browns Plains, and so it's close to where I live. Rather than I
You
have
live
to
at Browns Plains and travel to the fucking...
I travel to
You
the ends of the
are a
earth.
brilliant client.
That is just great.
Lane can't even show up from
I-
Brackenridge to here.
I
I'm
drive
here 3
through
times a
thousands
week.
of gyms.
Barely.
Late, but here.
Late and then doesn't do anything.
Anyway, I
All the
think-
team can confirm.
Peter's been training with Jonny for how many years?
400.
I think
400, yeah.
12.
Yeah.
I think we're up to
Well,
12.
No, it's more than 12 because
Is it?
I think it's
Facebook
12.
celebration of 12 years was several years ago.
Was it?
No, it's
Okay.
12. I think
No,
it's 12.
about 12.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I
been
can
12
remember
or 10
Pete
years.
when he first started at Spring Hill.
No, original Spring Hill.
There's about 5
Yeah.
gyms
OG
before that.
Spring
Yeah.
Hill.
Yeah.
I don't know. I sound
Anyway.
like I don't know.
Anyway,
what it
there's
is.
that. The banks are being supportive. They're talking 4-month deferral up to 6-month deferrals. Government's being super supportive in terms of tax refunds, and so if you've got any, if you paid PAYG instalments last year, they're giving that back as a refund. So if you paid tax in anticipation of you making money this year, they're actually giving that back, your last 2 quarters. And you don't have
Sorry,
to pay
to
this
be
one.
clear, I haven't actually seen that one, and I've
Yeah.
looked for it. I'm not sure if it's a rumour. If you have the link, please send it to me, because I
Okay.
have a lot of people that are asking me, and I'm like, I can't find a link to it.
Yeah, and the PAYG, and they're also entering into payment terms.
Yes.
So you've got to put your you've got to put your BAS in.
Hang on. You're talking PAYG. You're now talking about me.
No.
When you were talking about Jonny, I wasn't interested, but now you're talking about me.
There's
I get
PAYG instalment, which is what the business owner pays in anticipation of the profit they're going to make. And then there's PAYG withdrawal, which is the
Yeah,
money
PAYGW,
which is what you take from the
withhold from
staff.
I'm sad.
staff.
I'm sad now.
But
Why?
Well, I'm not. I thought for a moment there I was going to get some money back.
Which one are you?
Well, I'm the one where you don't get money back. I just get paid a salary. Every state government pays
Is it-
me.
Ah,
Oh,
okay.
you
I'm
get
just a
paid.
public servant,
Well,
yeah.
you get to probably keep your salary.
Yeah, but I thought I was going to get money back.
Yeah, sorry, bro.
Sorry,
But-
greed is sort of...
Greed at this time. You said help everyone. Greed
But
at
there's
this
state
time.
Bit
government
indiscreet,
loans
but-
for 125,000 that are being offered. Again, there's no fine detail on this, but that's their
Oh, is that
thing.
the state government one?
To small, and I've never heard of the state government giving loans like that. You know, up to 125,000, but it has to be for staff, mostly for staff maintaining or maintaining your business. So, if you can put that case up, and that's why I say you need a cash flow and that sort of stuff.
So now's the time to, if your paperwork's not up to date with your accountant, now'd be the time to make sure that shit's good.
I've heard. This is what I've heard is that you fess up to your sins. In other words, you put your BAS statement in on the 28th of April without fail, even if you can't meet that requirement. And then on the 29th, you ring them and say, "I want a payment plan for what I've just put in." So if you delay and don't put it in on time, I believe that it works against you. They don't like that. They like you to fess up, but then they're quite happy to enter a payment
We're actually
plan.
telling people at the moment, and like I said, the legislation hasn't passed yet, but what we're telling people is if you have employees, lodge it as quickly as possible after 31 March. So we went through in my business and went, tell me everyone who, I call my practice manager, tell me every client we have that has employees, they are the top of the list for BASs. I want them done first week of April. Because my understanding is as soon as that's lodged, that's when the 50% of the PAYG comes back.
Do you believe that that's a grant, a money?
It is a refund of some description.
You reckon you
We
gotta
just
pay it
don't
back?
know if it won't be paid back.
That's good.
But we don't know if it's just coming off the BAS
or a grant.
or if it's paid into the account. The way that it's worded, it sounds like it gets paid into the account.
Because
sounds like
everyone
it's a
gets
cash
$2,000.
refund.
There's a $2,000
Yeah.
cash refund in that
Up
for
to-
everyone.
up to 25 grand.
Even if you don't employ anyone, you get a $2,000
Yeah.
payment there. But what I thought would be clever is that you put that in, say this is my debt, you get 50% of that back as a cash grant, and then you enter into a payment plan the day
And
after.
that's what we're going to be trying to do with people.
That's good. So you can keep
So you
some.
put your whole thing in, fess up to it. They will give you 50% of your PAYG anyway. They give that back, and then you enter into payment plan. And I'm seeing they're very generous with those payment plans.
Yeah,
It's basically what can you afford.
Well, basically what we've been told is usually it's over 2 years without a lot of details. 3 years we have to give details on assets and liabilities and all
That's
that
your
sort of
payment
stuff.
plan over
yeah,
2 years.
That's
Wow.
normally what it is.
Wow.
But the guidance from the ATO is essentially tell us what they can do. Or if they can't do it for 6 months,
Yep.
just tell us.
Yeah.
And at least they'll push it out that far and they won't chase you.
Yeah.
They won't foreclose your business or go for your house.
Because nobody knows what's coming.
Exactly. And that's what we're saying. We're just going, if we do the cash flow, like Pete said, and it's just, we can't pay BAS for 6 months, we'll just send them this cash flow and be like, we can't pay for 6 months. And the ATO is going to go, well, shit. At least we know it'll start coming in at some point. They don't want to close businesses. Like, that's the reality. The ATO is not in the business of shutting people down. They just want to know what you're going to do.
Yeah. Like you guys understand lifetime value of a client, so you give them 2 or 3 free things up because you know when they sign up, you're going to get $6,000 a year out of them or $7,000 a year out of them. You know, so and then you say, and they'll probably stay with me for 3 or 4 years. So your lifetime value of that client is like 30 or 40,000 if I win them over. So here, take a couple of free things until you like me, and then you go. Well, imagine the tax department's value of us as a lifetime value. How much is the tax department going to make out of each of us over our lifetime? It's in the millions. And so if they have to take a hit for a small period, or they take a bit of a discount on that, the lifetime value for us is just massive. And I think the tax department has got that mentality. They're saying, we'll stick with you because what do we get out of you being broke? What do we get out of you being on unemployment? How does that benefit us?
I mean,
We'd
the
rather
ATO has
support you.
The ATO has taken a haircut on debts before as well.
Yeah.
It's not always. This is very, very difficult. I'm not going to pretend that it's easy to do this, but we have seen circumstances where we've gone, they owe $1 million in tax. It's just never going to happen, but they could get some family money and pay $500,000 in a week. And they go, cool.
Yeah.
And they wipe the other $500,000.
Well, I work.
Hasn't happened with my business, unfortunately. Because my fee on that would be really high.
Well, there's people behind you called liquidators, yeah?
Yes.
And you've obviously referred some firms and said, look, I can't save you, best you go there.
Yeah.
And I happen to have some intimate knowledge about that world because my son is in that world.
Okay.
And he just did a deal the other day for a client and he paid 20 cents in the dollar.
Yeah.
So they added up all the debt, they went to all the creditors and said, we can pay you 20 cents in the dollar, and not one creditor said no. And so they turned $1 million, or I don't know what the actual figure was, but it was something like $1 million into $200,000 payment, paid now. And that's how the next people after you, which are the accredited liquidators, can deal with that sort of stuff. And you don't get to see them because we mostly go to our accountant, which is right. And how many people go behind that scene? Well, I've been behind that scene twice. So I've been past my accountant to that liquidator. And they can do magic, you know. They're undertakers to a large extent, where they bury companies, but they can also reconstruct. And what they do is they reconstruct your debt.
Yeah.
So instead of you selling your house and throwing it into the business and seeing it all go away, hold on to that until they reconstruct your debt, and then maybe use that money to pay off the 20 cents in the dollar. And you don't have your house anymore, but you don't have to go bankrupt.
And they're not emotionally invested in it.
They are probably some of the...
you are dying inside. it's just they go to work in the morning and they come home at night.
Yeah. Well, these guys made promises. They made promises to their landlord, and no person likes to sell their integrity. And they've made a promise, and then they can turn around and say, "But in November you said you'd do this," and you're already weakened.
Absolutely.
Because your integrity has been attacked. Whereas when Laing goes in on your behalf or some other professional, they don't they don't care about what you promised. They just talk the facts. What do you want? An empty shop for 18 months, or do you want to just give these guys a hand for 3 to 6 months, and then you'll have your lease back?
And in many cases, it's not a matter of integrity. People have worked their ass off.
Yeah.
And it's not because of anything that they've done or haven't done that things have turtled. And that's the situation at the moment. People are going to be feeling really guilty, like I should have had a big next egg, I should have been, check. You couldn't have predicted this. None of us did.
Yeah, I say in the workshop, it's not your fault,
No.
but it's now become your responsibility.
Yep.
It's not your fault, but that doesn't mean you can just crawl under a carpet and say it's not my fault. It's not your fault, but you still have to deal with it.
We got to take
You still got to
ownership.
face it.
We have to face it.
What would you say, Pete or Laing, to any business that's running around? Because I've spoken to a few that, in my opinion, have gone, when I've said, "Oh, hey, how's things going?" They're like, we're going to be sweet.
No, you're not.
Not if you're a gym. You're going to be shut down.
Or any,
What about outside the gym?
Outside of the gym, small business. Any small business
in general. What's going to obviously we're all fucked.
There's a few that might do really well in this, clearly.
There's some winners in our Department of Health. Working
Undertakers.
But obviously, but for the ones that are going to suffer, like in my personal opinion, because I'm one of them, it's going to be fucking bad.
Yeah.
And
Jonny,
I've said that
one way
several times all week. But it's funny when you see their response. They're like, "Oh, yeah, I don't know if I see it like that."
Some people deal with stress by just blocking it out and making it go away. Yeah. Curling up. It's the equivalent of, curling up in a fetal ball and lying in bed with the pillow over your head.
And that's
an attractive position
ignorance
for me.
Isn't bliss in this situation.
But it's going to bite you.
As a lot of people are being that positive, like, we're going to get through this. It's like, yeah, look, we will survive this, but we've got to prepare for the worst. Yeah. Prepare for the worst and hope for the best. At the end of the day, that's what it's going to come down to. It's like you got to acknowledge that this is going to get fucking shit. But as we've discussed so far, we can survive this, and it's going to come back to things like talk to your accountant, talk to your landlord as a small business, but also being fucking not a dickhead, being kind to each other, and community will win out here.
You need to bring your networks in like never before.
100%.
The only real asset we have is the relationship we have with one another. That's a powerful asset. Because collectively we can survive this. Yeah. Individually, like we were in November, we didn't need nobody because we were independently successful. But that day is over. We are now in a community. We have to be supporting each other. Keep your microphone up.
Or I'll tickle your fancy.
No.
Success in 12 months' time is I'm alive, my loved ones are alive, and I'm happy.
Yeah.
That's it. And
as we said before, you can fucking make money back.
Yeah.
Money's not going anywhere. It will come and go. It always will come and go. But the people you have around you is what's really going to get us through this.
Correct.
Community's going to win out.
Yep.
Don't be a dick.
But the other one is
White's aphorism number 107. Don't be a dick.
The particular one about humour. It's a particularly Australian defence, and it's a pretty good one. And we never want to forget that. Like during the war, we're probably the best jokes ever told. During the Depression, probably the best jokes. We still
even today we try to make this light. It's a shit topic to talk about, but we try to make it as light as we can.
Yeah.
And that's who we are. This is our culture, and we can't lose that. But we gotta we can't ignore this, guys. It's ignorance isn't bliss.
No.
Absolutely.
Have you read that Les Murray poem about statement about Australian humour?
Do you have the poem?
No, it's not a poem.
Just strangely, Peter's got it there.
No.
Funnily enough,
Sorry.
It was written in 1901 when Pete was 20.
It was written on a fucking stone with the caveman.
Pete was there holding the stone.
Wait.
We got it.
No, I'll get it for you. Get it for you.
It's hard when you're using clay tablets and a stylus.
Okay. No. This is Les Murray, an Australian poet, and this isn't poetry, but I just think...
Okay, so he's a poet, but this isn't poetry. This is just a statement.
Well, this
he's
is probably
potentially
prose.
Australia's best poet. Arguably, he probably should have got a Nobel Prize because he did the job. He probably pissed a few people off because he was very Catholic and he was very suburban. But, oh, geez, he was
He's good. But anyway, one of the things I say, because, asking for help is not an Australian male thing, I'm okay, Jack, I can get through this.
Yeah.
And I say that we all need help. Right now, we all need help. But only the strong are humble enough to actually ask for it. It's only strong people that actually can ask for help at the moment. And when I see the people at my workshop, I think you are the strong ones because you've come in and said, I need help. The person that buries their head in the sand is not a strong person. They're a very weak person because they can't face up to reality. But anyway, this is his, and I just loved it, and particularly about humour, Les Murray. He says, the ability to laugh at venerated things, at awesome and deadly things, may in time prove to be one of Australia's greatest gifts to mankind. It is at bottom a spiritual laughter, a mirth that puts tragedy, futility and vanity alike in their place. Like that ability to do that, isn't that?
Yeah.
When I read that, I said, that is so much. And we don't want to lose that. I mean, we're going to do the kindness, we're going to do community, we're going to think about humanity and not put money as the major thing that we do. But we'll also approach this with some really wonderful humour that keeps our mental health.
Oh, 100%.
Because even
Just
talking
shout out to
today
all the guys
when-
making memes on the fucking thing. Like, memes are getting, seriously, can we throw that meme up, Jace, with fucking Chuck Norris? Have you guys seen that meme with Chuck Norris?
No.
Is that the one that's like he
The
contracted?
coronavirus. Yeah. I know Chuck Norris got the coronavirus. Now the coronavirus is quarantined for 14 days.
Yeah.
That's fucking the best thing I've ever heard.
I thought the best was laughing at Johnny when he fell off his chair before.
I really, my head.
Genuinely funny.
In my head, I'm like, how many times in school did your teacher go, don't swing on your chair?
Quite a lot, yeah.
Anyway, but Australian slang has got into it. That's the Rona now.
The Rona and the
Rona,
Sani.
And the Sani, and the
Yeah.
Sani. And what's the other one? And those people that are hoarding everything, they're the magpies.
ISO. People have gone into ISO.
Oh, they got into
That's
ISO.
it.
Yeah.
Grab the
So-
old mate's got the Rona and
He's got
I've
the
got my
Rona.
Sani on me and he's got to go into ISO.
Got to go into ISO.
Fucking-
And I get some toilet paper, only the magpies have already got it.
Oh, mate. I love Aussie slang because it is... we actually have people that listen in Italy, we found out, through the... I know, it's shocking that anyone actually listens to us.
Well, they've got a lot of time to listen.
They fucking do.
Yeah.
They're
But
searching for everything.
we have listeners all over the world at the moment, which is astonishing, thank you. But if you don't know Aussie slang, go look it up and just laugh. The words we come up with, Sani and Rona. Old mate's got the Rona. I've got my Sani on me. You're fucking kidding me, mate. That's fucking hilarious.
And I'm in ISO now.
You're an ISO now.
Yeah.
Pete's going back to ISO.
ISO, yeah.
See, that one's scary because it could be confused with ISIS.
Yeah, true.
all
Anyway,
right.
look. I think
Yeah.
I think for small business, there's still a big package coming. When you see what UK's done, when you see what America's done, we've got a big package coming, and I really hope it's in the 100 billion class. And if it's in that class, there will be some safety net for everyone to fall into, both small businesses and their staff. It's not going to be what it was in November, but it'll be a safety net that keeps us going. All the government's doing is taking a loan on 2 years of profits from the future. They've just brought that forward into today. They'll take a big hit, but they're the only ones we can rely on. But what I'm noticing is everyone's leaning. We've got to lean on people who lean on people who lean on people and so forth. And that sense of a bit like the gladiator, wasn't it? He's standing there, he says, whatever comes out of this gates, we don't know what it is, but whatever it is,
great movie.
but whatever it is, we've got more chance of surviving if we do it together. That's what he says.
I'm just going to clap that because...
And isn't that what we're saying? We don't know. Like you made a really good point. The politicians do not know
Jason, get
what's
that in
coming
there.
out of that gate. They don't know. They're trying to make it up
Absolutely.
as
No
best
one
they
fucking
can.
knows.
Yeah.
But whatever it is, we can do it if we've got better chance of survival if we do it together. And that idea of community, I've connected with my neighbourhood now like I didn't do before. I didn't need my neighbours, now I need them because I might need to be carried out and put in an ambulance or something.
I'm going to start going to the Church of St. Peter of Baskerville. This is just working. These are good words. These are good words.
These are amazing.
Yeah.
You fucking brought
Absolutely, Pete. They're just
the
nailed it.
Gladiator. Russell Crowe in his what I would say his finest movie.
It was a brilliant movie.
Brilliant. I'm gonna
But
go
have a look at
watch
that. I mean,
I'm
get
gonna watch it
that
tonight.
clip
Ready
and
for
put it
tomorrow.
in because
Fucking
Because that's what and I keep stressing it, guys. It's your.
You could have just opened and said that. This podcast would have been over ages ago.
It's your
We'd be home now,
network.
yeah.
It's your network that is your asset. You know,
Absolutely.
forget about the dollars in the bank. It's the fact that you've got people that care about you and they're going to support you as best they can. And
Your network is your net worth.
And with you guys in your particular field, you know, you've won over people. You've invested a lot. You know, Jonny, I hate to count the hours that he's put into my training that he never charged for. You know, that where I got 17 personal bests at that comp. You know, he came all the way down for one athlete. You know, stayed over, paid the fights. Didn't give me an invoice for coaching fees or anything like that. You know,
like he would have to put a lot of work. You're a dinosaur.
and to see
Absolutely.
that, see that, you think, you know, now I owe something back. You know, and so at this time maybe I can't train the way that I have trained because we have to isolate, but it doesn't mean that I can't keep supporting.
100%. There's so much things we can do,
Absolutely.
but
we can find other ways to keep our fitness.
If you've got a mat and a floor.
And
Jonny has tortured me
I'll
with
turn
just
him on.
a mat and a floor.
Can you torture me on the mat and the floor and
I'll
sit on
turn him
me?
on the computer and he can yell at me for an hour, and then I can just turn him off when I've had.
Yeah, you'd like that. Be
I'd
able to
even
turn me off.
about halfway.
I got
Pete,
I'll do the rest
Pete,
myself.
I know Gwen's phone number. I'll call her to put me back on.
When he
Turn
says,
the Skype off.
and we'll do some lunges now.
Yeah.
He's gone, I can't.
The internet's dropping out, Jonny.
Yeah, I can't,
I'll do it behind the computer.
I can't do lunges.
25,
Yeah.
26.
But to wrap this up, guys, obviously we really appreciate your time. It's pretty simple. Don't be a dickhead.
Don't be a dick.
Yep.
Check in on your friends.
Check in on your friends.
Yep.
If you have financial, like we're going to put up obviously Laing's details in the show notes. We're going to put up Pete's details in the show notes. You know, if you guys have questions, please reach out. And obviously Dr. Paul as well. If you guys have questions, like, you know, we'll chuck their emails up if they're okay with it. Get in contact, have a chat, you know.
Someone wants to talk to me?
Yeah,
Any
talk to
promoters
us,
out there,
guys.
any trainers?
Like, you know, if you're not okay, talk to us. Like, we're happy to have a chat. We can chat about a lot of things. We love sandwiches. We can go get a sandwich.
Yeah,
1.5 metres apart, of course.
A 1.5 metre long sandwich.
Fuck, that's a big sandwich.
I could eat a 1.5 metre sandwich.
All right.
For
but
Jonny, that's
Here
lunch.
we go.
to wrap it up,
sandwiches.
we have 10 questions for each of you. Rapid fire questions. And now, we're going to go the opposite way. We're going to start with Pete. Now.
No. I've got Pete's.
Oh,
I've got the Pete's. I've got Pete's from the original lot.
yeah.
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 But like, well,
Cut and paste.
but should we?
No, I've got new questions for him.
Oh, we've got new questions for
I've
you.
got. I've got the same questions for. I don't know.
Anyway,
Pete's on
we got
later.
questions for Pete.
We got-
We're going to start with Pete because we're special humans. 10 questions, rapid fire.
We're going oldest to youngest.
Pete's looking really uncomfortable, and I'm
Yeah, because I
I'm
didn't
getting
do well.
really scared.
I didn't do well the first
Anything
time.
that's
At least
scares
you get to
Pete.
go again.
No,
All right,
ready?
Pete. Favorite colour?
Oh, this is new. Blue.
Perfect.
Maroon, bro. Queensland.
Oh, okay.
Favorite movie?
Shawshank Redemption.
Oh,
Oh,
fuck
yeah,
what
yes.
a movie, Pete. Gladiator, Shawshank, I love you.
If you could have dinner with anyone, who would it be?
Oh, those political people, Winston Churchill.
Your wife.
What about Gwen?
Oh, I have dinner with her for 44 years, you know. I don't need to have dinner with her again.
Peter will
But
be
I've
leaving
never
us
had dinner
shortly.
with Winston Churchill or
There's a
Abraham
couch
Lincoln.
in my office you can sleep on tonight.
Yeah.
What is your spirit animal?
Spirit animal.
Yeah.
Monkey.
Favorite food?
Meat and two veg.
I got meat and two veg.
Would you rather look like a potato or feel like a potato?
Yeah, I go with feel like a potato. Yep.
Favorite superhero?
Superhero. Yeah, Superman.
Do you believe in Santa?
No.
What?
No.
No, it's probably a reason he didn't bring you anything. Do you cry in the movies?
Always.
What was the last movie you cried in?
I cry over the fact that they played the Italian national anthem on every radio station at the same time, and every single citizen turned it up to full blast, and the whole country was singing the national anthem. How can you not cry at
I
that?
just got emotional.
Anyway, that wasn't
That's not a movie, but I'll take it.
But I tell you what, that moved me. I just found out about that today.
When Old Yeller died, you cried then too.
Yeah, all of that. I'm a complete sook in the movies. I have to wait until everyone moves.
What's the next question?
You wait until everyone leaves the movie, and then I creep out. Sort of,
Just like
because I'm the biggest sook. Yeah.
Okay, what's one thing no one knows about you that would make you famous?
Oh, really?
Yeah, bro.
Well, I've said this that I can read people. I read people.
Yeah, but
sort of
I
almost
feel like
as
you
I
could
say.
just write a fucking book.
Oh, I've written a book. Yeah, I've written.
You've written a book?
I've written a
No
book.
big deal.
Actually, I've written 2 books. Let me tell you. Oh, this is it. I've written a romance novel.
What's bullshit?
I've written a 55,000 word romance novel
Can I please read it?
on Mills and Boon. It's a Mills and Boon that I was going to submit.
You wrote it?
I wrote it.
Have you submitted it?
No, but I can let you read it. But I've written a Mills and Boon 55,000.
That's the sting in the tail for this podcast. Is you? There's a Mills and Boon out there for you.
And I've also
This might be a good time to put that out.
I've also written a book, frequently asked questions about accounting.
There we go.
I want the
Wow.
Mills and Boon. I want
Yeah.
something useful.
You know what? We're not going to ask you guys
I am
questions.
I am blown away. So
We should have started with Laing.
I've got-
yeah,
We've really
I
peaked
want
too
the-
early.
we're going to go to the
It's all
new ones
downhill.
for this.
I want the Mills and Boon.
Yeah, okay, yeah, fuck it, we got time.
We-
We're going to do both. You boys get 20 questions.
Yeah.
Well, it's actually 18 plus my 2 because this dickhead thought the new question
But still
was 10.
20.
It was 8.
So are we answering them together?
No. We'll just go 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah? You
Okay.
ready?
I'm so confused.
Wait,
but okay.
what?
So I'll ask him a question and then he'll get the same question.
Yeah.
And then we're just going to
You
go
had
through
a
that way.
chance to think about
Oh, I got a chance to think about it.
Oh, of course he does.
Favourite book?
Harry Potter.
Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings.
If you're on a plane crash and you had to live on an island for 40 days after that plane crash, who would you want to live with?
I can answer while you're thinking.
Thank you.
Do I get one person?
Yeah, you only get one.
Claire, my wife. Hello, darling.
Pete, lot to be learnt there.
Yeah,
Shout out Gwen.
That's a lesson.
Am I allowed to be by myself?
No.
Yeah, if you want, bro. If-
Cool, thanks.
Okay, now on this island, guys, obviously you're very hungry, and it's going to come a time where you need to make a very big, important decision. Are you ready to eat someone?
Yes.
Laing would fucking eat anything.
I'd probably eat him before.
I think I'd eat Lane.
Yeah.
Laing would be a juicy.
That's
try.
a month's supply right there.
That's not a month.
Not,
a year.
No.
Mate, he just weighed in.
The
No.
Paul, no, not
No.
ready.
No.
Not ready for that.
But like, I just want to point out, Laing would be a very beautiful,
Fine
well
cuts.
marbled rump.
Dog or cat, Lang?
Dog.
Dog.
What superpower would you like to have, Lang?
Flight.
Read minds. But you don't know that I can't do that already.
I kind of feel
but I
like
can
you
do
can,
that
brother.
already.
I've been around
Can't.
you long enough.
Just- I can't, but
Oh, he says.
Bullshit.
Yeah,
that's reverse.
What type of
psychology.
apple are you, Andrew?
He doesn't fucking eat
Like-
apples.
Yeah, what kind of
Real-
apple are you?
Oh, I didn't know if you meant like iPod.
No,
or-
you. What kind of apple? You're a green apple.
Yeah.
What kind of apple are you?
oh yeah,
Paul
sweet,
White?
sweet lady.
Sweet lady.
You are my sweet lady.
Is the
Thank you.
tooth fairy real?
Yes.
He's making eye contact with
Is
Johnny.
the tooth fairy real?
Shit, yeah.
Yeah. See, Pete. Real.
Don't
I
you?
am the same.
There's some old lady sitting out there with just a house made out of teeth. I love
load of
that.
teeth.
Fuck.
What's your secret talent, Lang?
380 kilo squat.
It's not a secret.
That
I play
ain't a-
drums.
Yeah, you do.
Oh.
Oh, I did not know that.
Didn't know
Wait, no, I
that.
did know that.
Did you?
Yeah.
Ask the question again.
What's your secret talent?
I bet if you can read minds.
Yeah, I read minds.
Yeah, you fucking do.
Ooh.
All right, here we go. Favorite color?
Red.
Got to go with ultraviolet.
Ultraviolet. Favorite
That's
movie?
a real wanky
Is that a
answer.
colour?
but
That is very.
It is a colour. It's just not in the visible spectrum. So
Oh, of course it's not.
It's because he can read minds. He can see
Yeah,
it.
it's
fancy
ultraviolet.
fucker.
Yeah.
Favorite movie, Lang?
Winter Soldier.
Avatar.
Ooh. If you could have dinner with anyone, Lang?
Steve Jobs.
Peter, watch this with my wife. But I've thought about this. If I had my choice, I would want to have them with fictional characters, and I would want to have Falstaff from Shakespeare, Hamlet, Macbeth, and on the other side, I'd like to have the lazy Rosalind from As You Like It. I would like to have Alison, the lady from Chaucer's Tales,
Well, we had one, but
And-
you can have all those.
Who's your last
Really
one?
thought about this.
and my wife.
And your wife, of course.
Wife.
Keep me in line.
What is your spirit animal, Laing?
Tiger.
Dolphin.
Favourite food?
Potato.
Claire makes a mean spaghetti bolognese.
Oh,
Yes.
nice.
Now,
All
Laing,
the- all
would
the
you rather
meatloaf.
feel like a potato or look like a potato?
You'd
I feel like
fucking
I look like a potato already, so I want to know what that feels like.
But I feel like he'd just eat the fucking potato.
Look like a potato or feel like it?
It's a deep question.
It is.
These are life questions.
Look like I'm going to go with look like a potato.
Yeah, that's fair. I understand that. Favourite superhero, Laing?
Thor.
Dope.
Captain America.
You?
Even better.
The captain.
Do you believe in Santa?
Yes.
Yes!
Yes.
Again, 3-2.
You must
Where
have
else do the
kids or
gifts come
something.
from? Where do the gifts
My
come
kids
from?
are grown up, you know. But anyway,
I've got
go
5 kids. So it's
So that just takes the joy away?
on. Oh, okay.
I still get presents from Santa.
yeah.
Shout out Santa. Do you cry in the movies, Laing?
Yeah.
yeah.
Last movie you cried in, guys?
Endgame.
Fuck yeah, I cry all the time.
Oh, last movie I cried in. Oh, Avengers, The Age of Ultron, probably.
Really?
You cried in that one?
Oh shit.
That dog.
Oh,
half the human
yeah.
race died.
So who, sorry?
Half the. Sorry, I didn't mean to shout.
You mean Infinity War?
No, The Age of Ultron.
Age of Ultron's when they're in the Sokovia, the flying fucking
Yeah,
town.
Quicksilver's the
Oh,
other person who dies in that one.
Well, I loved Quicksilver.
Yeah,
That was
that was
brutal.
pretty brutal. Like especially
It's
after he
just
fucking
like-
saves Hawkeye.
Yeah.
But fuck,
Oh, that's going to get me going.
What,
Infinity War gets
very
Laing,
sad.
what's one thing you do now that we don't know about that can make you famous?
Kid songs.
What
What's
do you
that?
mean?
Kids.
I sing a lot of random songs that I make up to
Yeah.
Godric.
Kid songs.
That's adorable.
Yeah.
Oh.
Wow.
And like he's learning them now, so we're walking through the shops today and he's like singing them back to me. Got me right in the feels.
Would you like to give us a line?
Absolutely.
No.
Oh.
We could have a whole
They're for my
podcast
kids,
around
sorry.
that. The Wiggles are out of business.
Oh, how true.
Hope they save some money.
Moving right along.
What's
No
one
idea.
thing you do now that we don't know about that would make you famous?
People know everything about me.
Read minds.
I'm not very good at secrets. And it's like, just fuck, it's out there.
Is that all the questions?
That's it.
All right, we've got 2 questions because I have to make up the other 2. Who would win in a fight, Batman or Superman?
I thought you were going to say Paul Lane.
Superman's going to win.
Yeah.
He's got superpowers. It's like Batman's
Yeah.
just a. He's just.
Yeah, but we'll need to watch The Return of the Dark Knight.
Batman's.
Batman's going to win, but Superman should win. This is what annoys me. Whenever you watch it, Superman should kick the shit out of Batman.
No.
And
But
he's
see, you're
always
basing
there
it off
is
the
a
movie. You're-
fucking plot hole there that you could bury DC
You're-
Comics in.
Yeah, but look, DC Comics is a massive.
But, like, it's this
if
whole-
you're basing it on the Batman Superman movie,
No, but it's this whole personality. It doesn't matter which comic you read. Clark Kent is a pussy.
he's a fucking morally just human.
Exactly, he's a pussy. So
You're the sort of person who thinks Captain America's a pussy.
You're a nah. This podcast is ending. Are you kidding? Captain America can
He
wield
catches
fucking
Mjolnir.
hammers.
He
Yes.
he catches the
and
hammer.
you know what? He's real brutal in those last movies.
No, yeah, because you know
Do you
what?
get what I mean? Like he's
Yeah,
starting
but
to shed that.
sorry. Fucking Superman, if we were trying to refer back to the Man of Steel movie, 2013, he fucking breaks General Zod's neck. How can you tell me that's not brutal, cunt?
That's the one time.
This is the fucking debate. I
Okay,
fucking...
That's the one time he's been brutal.
Nah, 'cause he-
in the
he
entire
does what's
Superman
necessary.
Brandon,
lore.
what was your other question?
Oh, fuck that Laing guy.
Because this is gonna. I'm just sorry.
I know.
This,
Yeah, this is true. This,
We'll get back to
we
this.
agreed no punching.
this is true. It was heading down a dark path.
I never
No
agreed.
punching.
Last question.
No punching.
Never agreed.
Who's the best out of Johnny and myself?
Johnny.
100%. It's Johnny. He swishes you.
Sorry, Greco.
I'm gonna go with Brando because,
Damn it.
because I feel like this has got to be balanced. I just,
No, we're
I'm
not
sorry,
balancing
Johnny.
Force.
I feel like I'm.
We're
it
talking
is
about
the
mental
force.
health here, really.
Oh, it is the force. Oh
No.
yeah.
Damn it.
Who's the dark side then?
Johnny. He convinces
I'm
everyone
not
to go one
looking-
RMs from
I'm
Epic.
not- I'm.
No, I reckon Brando's the
Brando's
dark side. Yeah, he's the
Oh.
dark side.
Yeah,
See, look
Brando's
at Bob. We got Bob in the background, Johnny's partner. She's saying nah.
No, I can't see. Can't see.
He convinces
Roberta.
all my clients to go off program and hit 1 RMs.
He was straight up to me before, like, yeah, let's do 400 tomorrow. Just YOLO.
I
It'll be
also,
fun.
well, I back that.
Yeah, after he said
We'll all
it.
be in here
No, I
tomorrow.
try-
Are you doing 400 tomorrow?
Aren't you in Pro Raw
What
tomorrow?
time are you doing it?
Yeah, Pro Raw tomorrow. He's doing it.
What time?
Closed gym.
But when
Closed gym.
but when this comes out, it will be today.
Yeah, true that.
Okay.
Watch the live feed, guys.
Live feed. I
So
will.
hopefully I've done 400.
That's right.
No
we
pressure.
can edit that bit where you.
Paul Pegler
I'll just
shout out.
hopefully we
Would
put-
be 400.
Yeah, I'll just start saying all the numbers so we can just plug it in there.
400,
Well,
310.
it was
312
312.
total. That's
That
it.
was a brilliant podcast, which ended with a very heated discussion, which is going to continue off air. But we want to thank you guys a lot for coming on, obviously giving up your time. It is a Saturday night, and with everything that's going on, we really appreciate it. To everyone listening, we'll put everything you need to get in contact with these guys or us in the show notes. That's it. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
2, 1.
Alright, so first we're going to talk about de-escalation. Now to do it successfully, you got to use a nice clear voice. Get back! That way they can hear. Now, legally, all you got to say is get back, and when they do anything, you can attack. You just got to say get back first. When in close proximity like this, you can't use the bow, because that motherfucker will be on you in 2 seconds. You need a knife or a machete. This is a fucking knife, motherfuckers. From here, get back! Then if they come at you, it's attack! That's how you do it.